All right, we're live.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back. Episode number 12 of Who What. Don't have a name yet. We do not have a name yet. You weren't ready for that.
But we episode 12, man.
Yeah, episode 12.
Episode 12. Corey, sleep.
So I'm looking at my fantasy game.
My bad.
All right, today I shall be moderating.
Huh?
He hosting today.
So
Since when do we rotate the host?
He said, huh?
no, Tavon asked me weeks ago
Yeah.
if I modded. If I didn't mind.
I ain't got to be the only. You could do it next week if you want.
I'm good on that.
You sure?
They say if you host, you got to give up social media.
Nope.
So anyway, Tavon, where can they find you online?
Tri-State Tip on IG.
You already know. Julia,
Julian Smith on Facebook.
you want to add your Instagram?
I will in a minute.
Brian,
Smitty Wood 365 on
Yes,
Instagram.
sir.
I see him. He active on the
That boy
IG
posting
now.
pictures
He posted
and
a
everything
picture. I
out
said,
there.
my
Yeah,
guy's there.
Clean.
I'm off my caveman. I'm trying to learn a little bit, man.
Now, I will give out my IG eventually. I'm changing the handler name.
Okay.
I want to try and make it something a little bit easier for people to spell.
The Diamond G. Oh, I said it, huh?
Well, it's well, the meaning is Japanese for demon.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a Japanese demon, though.
There it is.
And Brian on the gram. Good to see him.
Yeah,
And Cap.
You already know. No. Negative. I don't have no social media.
He said inbox him later. If you can find him. Anyways, I am Tiger Helly 19. You can find me there on Instagram and Snapchat. You know, same as every week. So, fellas, up on the docket tonight, we're going to start off with some big surprise movie and Marvel news. So, there was an Ant-Man trailer leak.
Okay.
I, myself, did not see it because when I tried to look at it,
It pulled down.
they pulled it down.
Dang.
It wasn't going to last long.
Dang.
Yeah, so that's what happens when you get to the group chat late. But
You ain't see it either?
No, so don't talk about it.
Oh, come on. Well, you already know the Kang in it.
I seen a picture.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what
That's
it
all
does.
I seen.
Well,
Yeah, I
guess
mean,
what?
It's pretty much, what you saw prior. It's just
That one
this
before?
time, this time they got more dialogue and what they talking about.
It's got some kind of levity to it.
And it's kind of like, ooh.
Okay.
It looks like a high stakes. It looks like a heist film, but it looks like it's going to be with some higher stakes involved in it. It looks like Michelle Pfeiffer's character may have had something to do with. She did something, and apparently Kang found out about it. So I guess he said,
You got all that from the trailer? I couldn't hear shit because that music was. I saw Michelle Pfeiffer in
I
it.
heard that part.
Nah,
Bill Murray kind of alluded
I saw
to
Bill
it.
Murray character. I saw MODOK.
Yeah.
MODOK popped up.
You be okay.
I waited toward the end. I didn't care about all the Ant-Man part, honestly. The Ant-Man stuff is just because we got to go to that movie to see Kang for me. And I just wanted to wait for the Kang part. And the Kang part, it's all right. It's all right. Obviously, we'll get a better trailer. But he from the still that I sent you guys, the still picture that I sent you guys, that boy throwing hands look like. So
look like Scott Lang gonna be in a fight in this one. I mean, it looks like it's more high stakes. It looks like it's a little bit more serious. It probably will have its jokes in it, but it
seems like a more serious.
Looks like the more serious out of his trilogy, which is good. It's gonna be something new, something refreshing for it.
Now, had they said anything about his boys being in it? T.I.
T.I. wasn't in the second one.
Nah, T.I.'s not in it.
No, he got knocked out after the first.
Nah, T.I. got fired out of it.
Yeah,
Because of that. I guess that
something.
scandal.
Yeah, with
White
him,
Scandal.
with him and
See, I
Shorty.
don't even remember the second Ant-Man. I only saw it the one time.
He was supposed
So
to.
me and you saw it
me
together.
and you,
I didn't even want to
saw
see
it.
it. Brian wanted to see it.
He was
Glad I
supposed to
went
have been
there.
in He was supposed to have been in this third one, but I guess that incident that happened with him and his wife.
I thought you were about to say his son.
No,
No.
Him and it was some sex trafficking allegations.
Yeah, back in the day.
And Disney just basically said, nah, they pulled him
Allegedly.
up.
Still a free man.
Supposedly, but
So no T.I., no Michael Pena.
Well, we don't know about Michael Pena. Yeah, we
Pena's
probably got to
in
look
it.
up his IMDb.
Yeah, if
they said he's in it.
yeah, it's got to be because if he doesn't do the rundown,
Yeah.
I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it unless he does the rundown. Just know that now.
He came out, and then Kang came out, and then he started talking crap.
But Jonathan Majors looked like he's gonna kick some ass at this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if he will or not, or if they're going to save him for later on because he still has to, show his face again. So we may get a glimpse of what he can do, but I think we may also just get just enough to satisfy an Ant-Man movie, not an Avengers movie.
Yeah, I think his dialogue was kind of like drawing me into him, just because how he was in Loki at the end of it when he was explaining each incarnates, he was laughing at it. Then he said it was one that's worse than me. And then I guess this is the one that he was talking about. And he was a little bit more aggressive. I was like, oh, okay. now he great kick their asses in this one.
I do not see Ant-Man. It's called Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Quantumania, by the way. I thought it was just Ant-Man.
Oh, I didn't know Wasp was gonna be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if this
she
is
in the
true or
trailer.
not, but I heard a real crazy rumor that said that MODOK's voice was Jim Carrey.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think it is. I
I'm
just
not
heard.
mad at that. I like Jim Carrey.
Before I get back to Jim Carrey, he is not listed on IMDb for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Michael Pena, by the way.
I'm not watching it.
But real quick, I watched the movie yesterday. People under the stairs because somebody brought it up last week.
Oh, finally.
No, I watched it years ago, but I just wanted to rewatch it again. Jim Carrey is who I would have if they did a remake for the father or the guy, the white dude.
Daddy.
Daddy. Yeah,
Okay.
that's who I would have as Daddy in the remake if they remade that movie.
Get Margot Robbie to play the mom.
I can see it.
Now who's gonna play fool? Now we done jumped into people under the stairs.
Off
on the tangent again.
It's not that many young black people, but I can see.
One of us could do it.
Young boy Stranger Things. He's like the main young black kid right now.
Too. Yep. Yeah.
There's other there's a couple kids from The Chi. They're all young.
Or the young boy from Cobra Kai.
Or the young boy from Cobra Kai. Yeah, those like the main little black kids right now. Yeah. But any of them, I'll be all right with.
Black kids.
Honestly, it should have been Jaden Smith. It should have been Jaden Smith like 10 years ago. But
he almost like our height. If
he look weird now. But
side note, Jaden Smith, he could rap. That's just a side.
I like the Icon song.
Yeah, he got some joints.
That was him and Logic, right? Or was that just him?
I think it's just him. I think he had a remix.
And his dad remixed it too.
Yeah, that was kind
of ill. Cause Will also, when he wasn't getting his rapping back, surprisingly, Will Smith can rap.
I just want to say one thing. Hi, Jada.
Bye, Jada.
I can't co-sign that.
Bye, Jada. That's a whole different topic.
Nah, it's just the whole. It's just we bald, man. So hold
up, watch that corner. Make sure Will don't come around the corner. Hold up.
I probably will get slapped.
So any closing thoughts on Ant-Man?
When it come out?
February.
February. March, February.
Okay. I'll have more. I'll have more to say about it after
the official
Black Panther.
Okay.
After Black Panther, I'll have more to say about it.
Okay. All right, then we're moving on. Blade production issues. Now I'm going to start off by saying maybe Feige has lost his passion for the projects.
Niggas ain't got no passion.
He ain't got no passion.
Ain't got no passion.
I knew it was going to come back around.
No, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Last week, I was told consistently Marvel got passion behind their projects.
They do.
All right.
I knew this was going. I kind of felt this was going.
So wait, let's give the backstory. Somebody give the backstory on this.
The people that watched the episode, they agreed. So
We can argue, all right? We can argue. And whoever agree with him, please comment and state your facts behind this.
Zack Snyder would never.
But please, somebody just give a backstory real quick about what's going on with Blade.
All right. Like, basically, a long story short, from what's being reported, I mean, allegedly, the story is 90. It was 90 pages in a script, and in the script, it only had 2 action sequences, which is very mediocre. And that can't happen. Now, I'm not an actor, but I just know from script pages, if you got 90 pages and this is an action influenced movie, especially with a character like that, and you only got 2 scenes, it's a problem. So what they're going to do now is it's going to be a delay in this possibly, because they're going to rip the entire thing up. They're going to start the script from day one. So I got the writer from Moon Knight. He's wrote X-Men 97
series,
and he wrote something else. And he basically told Marvel, let's do a page 1 rewrite, which has got Mahershala Ali, I'm sorry, allegedly that he's not happy about this whole delays happening because supposedly he's had to pass on a lot of projects just to get this one going off.
So my question, Brian, is give me a second. My question is this on Kevin Feige, or is this on the writers who he entrusted to put this project in a good path forward? Writers / directors, who I'm assuming that they found a director, but even if they didn't, let's say the writer.
they haven't found a director yet.
Oh, they haven't? Oh, okay. Well,
They had one, but then he quit.
Yeah.
Well, he saw the
Kevin Feige may himself say, you know what, I have best wishes for this project and I'm entrusting you, but the person did not deliver. Is that possible?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that Kevin Feige isn't passionate about it.
Right.
I'm just
I don't-
saying
I don't
shit
think it has-
happens
I don't think it has
and
anything to do
people's
with
idea and creative ideas don't pan out the way they envision it to be. And all I was saying last week was, I don't know if I think you was coming a little too hard on no homo on Zack Snyder. That's all I was saying.
I was coming hard on Zack Snyder because the proof was in the pudding.
Is it though?
Yeah.
I
because
just said he had a good movie.
he had. You think about this, right?
He had Man of Steel,
I'm
a
gonna
good movie.
I'm gonna answer your Blade question, but I'm gonna answer this question first.
Go
just
ahead.
to dead all that.
All right.
Now, when he put out Man of Steel made 800 and something million, right? Didn't get to the billion where people thought it was.
800 is still good.
800 something million, right?
Yeah, what's more I got?
So, so he had 3 years from that movie to Batman versus Superman to create a film that it is absolutely the first of anything. It's bigger than having Wolverine on screen with Deadpool. It's bigger than having Iron Man and the Avengers on screen. It's bigger than that because them two was before it all. So you had the opportunity to create the absolute last of a first thing, and he fumbled the ball. And hold on, I'm not done. Okay. And then after that movie came out, he was linked up to do 2 Justice League movies.
Right.
So halfway through all that was going on, wherever his personal business and stuff, at Warner Brothers, people wanting to get their money before the end of the quarter, all that stuff was going on. All that stuff was happening. But still, at the end of the day, they seen his movie and said it's not good enough. Or the people who was there, which was, obviously they were wrong because the Snyder Cut came out and was better than what they did. But at the end of the day, that movie made less than the 2 prior movies.
Okay. So I'm not defending.
But it's still on.
I'm not defending those movies. I'm not a fan of the movies.
It's still on the path of what he created.
Yes.
And then it gets rectified when he puts out the Snyder Cut.
Now, is it also him and his vision being fought by producers and
Yeah, that's what I said.
creative
he had all the
directors
people. Yeah, all the
about
people
how
nitpicking and all that.
like
in
we
there.
can't have this way. We need it shorter. We needed this. We needed this.
This was a classic case of too many cooks in the kitchen.
But you give him. But hold on, though. But you gave him full range after you saw the return from Man of Steel. He had full range.
Yes.
He had full range to do whatever he wanted
Now,
to do.
again,
he just fumbled.
People fuck up. People fuck up. But don't say just off of one movie he ain't had passion.
He fumbled the bag.
One movie.
He fumbled that.
He did not have to come back.
He didn't.
And-
But
and fix
He pitched
Justice League.
He pitched Batman versus Superman. That's where the problem started for me with him. And then the whole
I don't
DCEU.
know the whole history on Batman vs Superman. What went wrong, what went right. Maybe this was his idea, and maybe just his idea sucked. It's a possibility. All I'm saying, Brian, to say somebody didn't have passion for him to come back years later after a project came out to redo a director's cut, which is a really good
that he,
director's
that he
cut version.
acknowledged didn't exist at first.
probably
it's an
contractually.
NDA.
Probably contractually.
Yeah, but I'm saying though. So you already.
So you
in your mind, you already. Knew
This sounds more
that it existed.
anti Zack Snyder than it is about anti
I'm a
passion.
fan of Zack Snyder. I'm a Zack Snyder dude.
All right.
I said that last week.
All right.
Dawn of the Dead
All
is
right.
like that's my favorite zombie movie.
Okay.
All right, to answer the blade. All right, no,
I just have,
go
no,
ahead.
I have a one quick question though, as far as the numbers with the Snyder cut and the numbers being what they were and quote unquote successful and what it was. I think we do have a couple factors that we do have to acknowledge. Number one, the Snyder cut dropped in the middle of the pandemic, changed all of how people take in movies, watch products, all that. Number two, I think a lot of people, like if you weren't hardcore really wanting the Snyder cut, a lot of people had already written it off. They were just like, "Oh man, it's just a movie we already see that we
some
did not
DLC
enjoy
in it.
with a couple extra scenes thrown in." Versus I'm looking at it as like, "Yo, this is a whole." So I think those two things majorly affected the success of the movie, which I still think was successful because the problem always was with the DC movies anyway. Critics and fans saying what they said, their opinions, and I feel like a lot of the movies got not so great reviews.
I'll
the
say
Snyder cut got good reviews. It got good feedback. Is that not what we want though?
And I said when we came out of the theater when we watched the Snyder cut that it was a way better movie than what we saw the first time.
You were there. Yeah,
I
we
said
were there.
that.
He said it.
I said that out my mouth. I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh, I didn't think the movie was good." The movie was good. I just don't think it needed to be 4 hours long. They could have got to that finish line a whole lot sooner than 4 hours.
But yeah, you remember
that's
it was
true.
supposed to be two movies, though.
I'll
So
say
it
that
really would have been
this is-
2-hour movies.
I'd have been better off with that. I think.
Yeah, and that's
you
why I
would've-
think that's what really messed it up. They should have stayed the course. I'm sorry, they should have stayed the course of what he wanted to do, and have a part 1 and part 2. Like it's just it's multiple
and
pieces.
If you
to
end
this
that,
puzzle.
So would you
end
say-
that first one? Hold on. If you end that first one on a cliffhanger, and then you have people waiting a year or even a few more months until you drop that second one, you didn't fix the DCEU right there.
That would have been great. I would have loved that.
You fixed the DECU because now you got people.
That's not his
anticipating.
problem. That's not his problem. He was a director of a movie.
I'm dying to say
He's
this.
not the creator. He's not the Feige of DC.
Well, here's the thing.
That
with
wasn't
these-
his problem to fix.
I think what's going on is it was too many people involved that shouldn't have been involved. That's one. The second thing is they should have just. I think DC was too reactionary
That too.
to what everybody was saying that was bad. I feel like this. Marvel has not put out has had a track record of some good and some bad films. I personally don't like the Iron Man trilogy. I think the Captain. No, I'm serious. I don't like it.
Okay.
I'm serious. I really don't like.
I like the first and the second.
I
like the third one.
They're not my favorites.
My thing about the third was they fucked up the Mandarin for me, and that was like I don't really care for Iron Man, but I was hoping to see the Mandarin at least.
See,
real Mandarin.
See, my thing with Iron Man, I always thought it was like my expectation in was with Iron Man it was science versus sorcery. That's what I was always reading growing up with it. So that right there, I'm not necessarily, but they went the way they went with it. I get it. They wanted to go more technological based with the first film. That's fine. But I just didn't like the movies. I like Robert Downey in the movies, but I didn't like the Iron Man trilogy. That's all aside. Now we get with basically with DC is they should have just stuck the course and just kept going on what they're doing. Had they would have did this and just let him just have trust in, I mean, everybody's going to have a bad film. Nobody, we are going to have one good film, one bad film, one awesome film.
And that's all I'm saying is that
that's the whole thing.
Everybody's going to have a bad, performance.
I mean, I put it like this, Christopher Nolan.
I wouldn't say that is because he lacked passion. It's just his thoughts and his creative ideas didn't pan out the way he thought.
He took me out when he made that comment about superheroes looking weird talking to each other.
We still look, man. Look,
and this is
all I'm saying is, no, real quick. Iron Man talked without his mask on.
I was about to say, hold on.
He lifted the visor up and talked. Captain America talked without the mask. Spider-Man pulled his mask off at times and talked.
And when he
it
said
happens.
that,
It happens.
I'm not gonna say. I'm
gonna let y'all keep talking over me.
The only person I know who ain't never come out their mask is Cyclops.
He can't.
Exactly.
But the only thing, with that is everybody is going to look at that interpretation differently. I didn't care. You can just basically say, well, Michael Keaton in the Batman suit was wearing tights, but they decided to switch wearing an armored outfit. Is that
I think y'all missing the point of what I'm making.
I see what you're saying.
The point I'm making, you got to talk about Captain America took a mask off, Iron Man took the mask off. Those are stuff that was written in the script. I get that. But the director of those films didn't come out and say, "Oh, I had a problem with the characters wearing their masks when they're talking." He said that out of his mouth,
and that's like Nolan.
I mean, I'm just like, yo, I can't.
And to a degree, I mean, Nolan even said certain things with Batman he didn't like,
but he talked to him in the mask.
I'm
really.
I'm talking about what the director said, not what happened in the movie.
But what happened?
I'm talking about what the director said about the movie, not in the movie. The movie.
But you know what? I'll put it like this: he may not have liked it. I mean, who cares? I mean, it's a lot of stuff certain people don't like.
As a fan, I don't want to hear that. As a fan customer, I don't want to hear the directors.
I'm letting it go.
Because then I'm gonna be like, so that's why we got less scenes of Superman and Batman in their costumes, because we know that he thought it was a joke to him.
And that's fine. And that's fine with me personally, because if you didn't pick
that,
you're acting like it's Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio mask coming off the. Okay. Right.
So,
what's the Blade question again?
With or without a mask, you shall get past. So, Brian, your thoughts on the Blade production issue?
Back to Blade.
I don't remember the question.
Circle the wagons back. The Blade production issue. What are your thoughts on what's going on?
No passion.
So this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just say the guy wasn't passionate about it. That's what I'm gonna say.
I heard Blade ain't had no shape up. It was just all straight from. It was no fade. It was no pattern in the back.
Yeah, vampire dentures.
I'm just done with this. Like, are we gonna be serious or not? Because
I'm listening.
I don't even remember the question again.
I'm gonna listen.
Blade production issues.
Yo.
Which, by the way, I'm a little disappointed because that was one of the few things I was kind of looking forward to was Blade.
But they didn't have a director, so now I'm a little taken. I thought it was.
They had a director.
I thought it was more about to be in production.
Well, it was a great start. Next month.
Damn.
Yeah, next month. So now they were looking for another director to do that, which y'all know that's going to be impossible for 2 months. It's going to be a delay. I don't. You know what? In all retrospect, I think it's a good thing that it's getting delayed now, because now at least they can take their time and do what they got to do instead of just rushing out something.
But they did announce the movie 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 3 years?
Yep. 2019 Comic-Con.
Well, you know what beat that? You know what beat that?
No.
Black Adam. Black Adam was announced like damn near 11 years ago.
12 years ago. I think it was 12 years ago.
He made a post like 11 years ago saying he was Black Adam. That shit didn't happen still ain't come out.
That went through some stuff behind the scenes. That whole thing is for another episode in itself on how it got made.
I mean, I'm like I said, I'm disappointed. I was looking forward to. I think even me more so the possibility of characters being funneled in through Blade just because of who he's related to, not related, but
the other characters
'cause you
interact
get
with.
Spider-Man's in the mix, and you get all these
Well,
other characters.
You brought up something because I thought they definitely was trying to do this Midnight Suns thing, and if his stuff gets delayed, then
Probably
that
still
may
gonna pop off.
delay some other projects.
If someone's
as well.
passionate about writing it.
Can I get some? What is this orange juice? Go ahead.
I knew you were going to say that as soon as I started talking, so I forgot I beat you to the punch.
But on the other side, this is maybe a case of maybe Marvel doing too much.
They got a formula. That's all I'm gonna say.
They got a formula. It's working, but I think
Kevin Feige
is getting
trust in the people that he hires to do these jobs.
He lacks that passion, right?
Every now and then,
he lacks the passion.
I don't understand when y'all say that. It sound like you complaining about him letting people do their job.
Exactly.
But then I hear y'all complain about people being over top of somebody not letting them breathe. So I'm with Brian on this. I don't understand what y'all trying to say right now.
Whoa.
It sound like you complaining that he gave them freedom.
No, I'm not. I'm saying Brian is being biased towards Zack Snyder.
I'm not being biased.
I'm saying that other situations occur where the movie doesn't pan out the way they believed it was going to pan out. But for some reason,
I wasn't being biased.
Brian is only bringing this issue towards Zack Snyder. He's not bringing it towards
who else
the person that just wrote Blade. He ain't bringing it towards Taika Waititi in The Last Door.
But
he's not bringing it towards these other people. He's only bringing it towards Zack Snyder. And that's what I'm trying to see.
But see, hold on though. That's the thing though. Why would I bring up somebody else in a discussion about Zack Snyder?
I'm just saying. Why is it only Zack Snyder ain't got passion?
Because that's who we were talking about.
No. You said DC has nobody passionate.
Yeah, but why would I bring up anybody else though? Why would I bring up some? Why would I try to bring in?
Because you saw Thor. You saw the last Thor, right?
Yeah. I said I didn't like it.
Exactly. That's why you should bring it up.
But why would I include that in the conversation when I'm talking about Zack Snyder? I'm trying to address the conversation that involves that film.
I'm saying,
I'm not trying to bring in something else to compare it to. I'm talking about
I think you based that comment off of one movie.
But that's what the focus of my comment is on that.
What's the next topic?
Else.
What's the next topic? Because
so
am I clearer now about what my argument was, Corey?
Yeah.
I don't. That's all I'm saying.
All I was saying
it's
is
not that
I'm
not anti.
He was the topic. That's what I was talking about.
I'm just saying, why are you specifically? I don't care about Zack Snyder. It's different to me. But I do.
It was the topic.
I do think that last movie was good. The Snyder cut was good.
Yeah,
and
so
I
said that.
For him to come back and do that, I can't agree 100% with everything you said about the passion part. That's all I'm saying. Everything else you said about DC and not hiring the right people, I 100% agree with. And maybe most of them more about the money.
Did I say that Zack Snyder wasn't the passionate one? Or did I say
he was heavily implying.
No, he did.
He was
say
heavily
most
implying.
people,
heavily implying it was Zack Snyder.
I mean, but he did say most people in DC wasn't passionate.
I said DC. I didn't
You
say
specifically then went and said, as your example, Zack Snyder said he don't like them talking.
You did say that part.
I said that. What does that got to do with the passion part?
I think you gave that as
on that.
No. You gave it as an example.
Why are you hooked on it though?
No, I'm just saying you gave that.
I asked you a question. What is your hook on that?
Listen real quick.
What is the hook on it? I'm listening.
You said the passion part, and I was like, you know what, you're
Well,
right.
what's
You
the
know
hook?
what, you're right. And
the
then your example of why you said that, your only example so far has been because Zack Snyder said he don't like them talking with the mask on. To me, that doesn't show passion. That's what you said. And so I said, I agree with what you said, but that last part is what got me off. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm going to say.
That's what threw me off. That's what threw me off. Was that last part.
Again,
that's all I said.
All I'm going to say, again, for the last time.
Am I wrong? Anything that just happened? He did say that.
What I'm gonna say about
No. Let me say my.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say my piece. This is the last time. As the person that is creating that world, you cannot say things like that. That's going to alienate the people who want to see that stuff. You can't say it.
Did you care that he said that?
You might
Julian,
not care. Nobody else
you care about that movie.
Me.
Did you care that he said that?
No. I mean, personally, I
don't
didn't
care.
But y'all don't represent the masses. You represent a small demographic of people that think that's okay.
I think you just assumed my mass.
No. I said that represent a small demographic. If y'all are on the left side of that argument, and I'm on the right side of that argument.
All right.
Well, the one thing we can definitely say about Zack Snyder, the DCEU, and all things.
I mean, he left his mark.
I mean, there's a reason why they keep retooling it. There's a reason why they keep refreshing it. There's a reason why.
Okay.
There's a reason why people want to disconnect from it.
Because the passion.
Because it sucks.
So the one thing we're gonna say about, we're all gonna agree to disagree, but what we're gonna say about DCEU and Zack Snyder, that it is a very polarizing
Zack Snyder
topic. Just
Zack
like
Snyder, if you ever hear this in your life, I have no problem with you. I love you. I think you're a great filmmaker. I think you're one of the best, if not the best, visual effects person that's ever picked up a camera.
the best.
But at the same time, you dropped the ball because you had 3 years in between Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman to create a great story. And he can't say that they didn't take the cuffs off of him and let him do his vision. They did. They gave him that because no one wanted him to do Batman. He talked them into doing Batman, and that was a product that we got. No. When he announced that and he went to Comic-Con, he put up the little teaser and it showed Superman's emblem. Then it put the Batman emblem on top of that.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and hit us with
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, I feel like in the future is going to get another crack at the universe, the DCEU. But moving on to other news, back to Marvel.
Did I even answer the question?
Yeah, we good.
The Blade production issue.
Did I answer it?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said,
Since you know. What did I say? I don't even remember answering that.
Yeah, this is going left.
Dude, you want to add something to the Blade
I don't even remember
production?
what the question was.
No, we were just talking about Blade's production issues going on right
And
now.
what
How
you
you feel
thought on
about
it?
it? You upset about it? You happy for it? You indifferent to it?
remember, at least Julian was like, yeah, I'm glad it's getting delayed. I don't want to recap. But go ahead, final thoughts.
Nah, I don't even want to comment. I'm good.
I don't want to take away.
Nah, I feel like it already got taken away.
All right,
So
my
what's the
bad.
next-
My bad.
All right, Hugh Jackman returning as the Wolverine, confirmed.
He ain't
for
never wear the mask. He ain't
Deadpool.
never wore a mask the whole time he been Hugh Jackman. He
Yes,
been
he
Wolverine.
did.
Well, that's all I'm.
When did you see Wolverine wear a mask?
He never wore the mask.
Nah.
It ain't no fucking passion in Fox.
Whoa, watch it. Whoa,
My
whoa,
bad.
Whoa,
I'm
watch yourself.
It's the
man.
Mad Dog. It's the Mad
Watch your
Dog.
fault.
I start drinking Mad Dog and start getting.
That brown bag special got you hype.
He said mad.
Oh my
My
god!
bad.
But yeah,
what you
Hugh
saying,
Jackman.
Jason?
When Hugh Jackman wear a mask. All
Hugh
right.
Jackman back as the Wolverine,
Which I wanted.
aka Logan, in Deadpool Part 3. I, for one, am very excited for that, and especially that I'm seeing that he's supposed to wear the official
Iconic.
Wolverine suit, which my favorite superhero, one of my favorite superheroes. I'm hyped for. How do you guys feel about it?
I'm kind of mixed about it.
Go ahead.
Nah, I'm kind of
There
mixed.
it is. You can't have it. You can't
I'm
have
I'm
torn.
It was a spicy take. That's all. I had to.
You
You know
really
when
not gonna like mine.
when you eat something, you know how you eat something hot.
You really not gonna like mine.
That's
though.
all I'm saying.
So what you thinking?
The Smith
What you thinking,
brothers.
Jude?
They on one tonight.
I see.
Go ahead.
Like I said, I'm mixed on it. I personally was hoping that they would just cast younger and just restart the whole thing. But I like Hugh Jackman. I think he's a damn good Wolverine. I mean, I'm just more interested in the story it's going to tell, because now, are they going to bring in the Negasonic? Are they going to bring in the Colossus character? Or are they going to bring them characters from Deadpool into the MCU? And how are they going to introduce them now? So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, it broke the internet with everything that went down with it. So I'm happy with it. But
Was he getting Kevin Feige strikes?
I mean, I'm happy. I'll just say this: I'm happy that Hugh Jackman's finally getting what he been wanting to do. But we'll see where it goes from there.
Brian,
Go ahead, Brian.
Bruh.
Nope.
I don't want to
Go
interrupt.
ahead.
Nah, go ahead, Cap. You
No, now I want to hear what you guys say.
No, I said it in the
I'm
group chat.
happy about it. But just go ahead. I want to hear what you guys say.
I said I'm happy that Hugh Jackman's playing Wolverine again, but I'd rather seen somebody else play him.
I mean, they can still do that though.
Exactly.
I need a new Wolverine.
Because you know they really can't. What was it? They can't use nobody for another year, right? They have to keep the
Unless they
same
bought 'em
people,
out.
right?
Let's buy him out.
Right.
Time out.
Okay.
But chronologically, this still may work because this is Logan's Wolverine that died.
But they said it's different. Even the director came out and said it's a
But
different
I didn't see
Wolverine.
the rest of the second. He put two videos out. And he said that Logan took place in 2029
Yeah.
and that this movie will take place prior to that.
And James Mangold came out and said that Logan's a different universe. He just came out to he said his Logan movie is different from the Wolverine, is different from all the X-Men movies. Huh? That's what he said.
How?
That's what he said.
Basically, it's an Elseworld.
So they're trying to
regardless, the point I'm getting at is that this will be his. This will be more than likely his last outing as Wolverine. They're just doing fan service to give us what we wanted and what they've been teasing at for a few years now. Deadpool and Wolverine together, and that's it. That's it. After which we will more than likely be getting a new Wolverine.
That's kind of how I took it.
And this is for us. This ain't for the story going forward. This is strictly a fan movie.
Yeah.
I don't really think.
So I can't complain.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'd rather see a new Wolverine.
And the introduction of the new one.
And we will.
That's all I got to say.
I think we will be getting that after Fantastic Four and Secret Wars.
Well, yeah, but they got to wait another 5 years.
Yeah,
because they said it's a lot of paperwork with that X-Men thing. I didn't know all this was going down until I started reading up on it. I was like, whoa.
So it gives us something.
What do you think about Wolverine's return via
I just
Hugh
want him to
Jackman?
have his little, MCU little face.
Yeah.
All I needed was one. Then they can switch whoever they're gonna put there.
Like,
I support him, but I don't care.
Like I'm split on. Like I see both sides. Like on one hand, it would have been cool had they, and I know it's a time frame thing, had everything sped up. Like if they had the actual casting in place for X-Men right now, you can throw them in, and that's how you introduce your new Wolverine into the MCU. Instead of now we're gonna have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and then we know it's going to end up being replaced, and it's going to be a different Wolverine. Mm-hmm. Other half of me is like, I kind of felt like I really wanted to see Hugh Jackman wear the suit one time. Just him being the original. Being the one that they did. It's a split. It kind of reminds me, it would be like how CM Punk set the record with the WWE title, and The Rock comes and wins, and he gets to premiere the brand new title. That's a whole off subject, but on subject. That's why I would have felt like too. I would have been like, damn, Hugh Jackman never got to wear the suit. But it's a split. We're all gonna go see it. We're gonna enjoy it. I hope it's better. I hope it's better than part 2.
If anything, it's probably gonna be a fun film.
I hope it's better than part 2.
They're gonna have some good action scenes.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna let him go do his thing in it. I think it's a whole film that's just outside of that whole X-Men thing.
It's not taken too seriously. Let's just have fun. That's how
apparently they're gonna let them. It's rated R.
Oh,
they said it's a rated R. They basically said that their notes to the film. They basically told them just go do what you want to do.
Yeah, we can't go back to a PG-13.
No.
And I think
Deadpool was never was a PG-13.
I think Disney's starting to warm up to the idea of doing some rated R films.
They're doing 2 divisions. R-rated films and regular little kid films. They was talking about that recently.
Which I watch a lot of the kid films.
So right. Did y'all hear real quick before we get off for Wolverine that Zac Efron is like, they were asking him if he was in touch with Marvel. Now the thing going rumor is that he may be in lead to be Wolverine next.
No, Tager Egerton, dog.
I think me and Brian been saying that for a while. I'm down for it. I'm definitely down for Zac Efron.
I'm not with him no more.
Oh no,
nah. I want Taron Egerton to play.
What if Taron is Cyclops or somebody?
Well, he already said that he didn't want to do that.
Don't nobody want to be Scott.
He was on Sway.
Somebody got to be Scott.
He was on Sway, the morning show, and he told him that he had got approached for it a few years ago, and he told him that he didn't want to play a character who covered
looking at them too. Taron Egerton, Zac Efron. Zac Efron tends towards Wolverine
both of them in it.
He had the physique. I think
one Cyclops, one's Wolverine.
Because they're both.
Zac Efron resembles more Wolverine features. He's shorter, physically.
Not shorter than Egerton.
He's shorter. Yeah, no, Zac
Egerton. That's the one from
I'll put it like,
right?
Yeah.
I say. This could work with them too. If put Zac Efron and Cyclops. I mean, they're close in age. I think they're close in age, but Taylor. I mean, he got that dog in him. I mean, he looked like he would shatter that part. But
So we got Taron
we'll see.
Egerton at 5'9", and we got Zac Efron in at 5'8".
He's taller than him.
that ain't bad.
But both of them be the right size about. I mean, Wolverine's shorter, but
But you see this picture right here? That don't look more.
yeah.
That don't look more Wolverine to you.
He looks more the part, but I just feel like Taron Egerton the better actor.
But did you hear the
It's
rule?
but who's a bigger name? Zac Efron is a
Efron.
bigger name, and
But
that may play into who gets the role as
That's
well.
I hate when people do that.
And that, but it's, I mean, when I heard that they were hiring some of the people for the MCU films based off of their Instagram followers, that had me kind of like, ooh, you know, didn't
Ain't got no passion. What's the next topic?
let me let me get my Instagram up there. I'm trying.
Take Ron just trying to get me riled up. You want, if you
I'm
want,
glad
if you
y'all
want
ain't
me-
talk about what's
if you want me to get that fired up for everything, I will.
What was the
me, I
next?
will.
What was the next topic?
No, but yeah. So I think either way you can't go wrong. Efron, Egerton, and who you don't use for one role, you can always use for another. So as long as you have them in the universe somewhere,
As long as they all had a passion for it.
That's all that matters.
we all don't get our
Y'all never
fantasy
talked about
castings.
Rogue. I
That's-
don't
that's-
Who
all
got
that
casted
matters.
as Rogue?
No, and you're like y'all never even. We was talking about who's the girl name?
Oh, we talking about Kiki Palmer.
Kiki Palmer is Rogue.
And Kiki Palmer
But then,
might not be
I ain't gonna say
passionate
nobody
about
who's
it.
being
She
super
ain't-
racist about it.
They
though.
ain't gonna give it to her.
She might not be
Man,
passionate.
who knows?
enough.
Never know.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
She would. Honestly,
I don't got nothing against her.
I ain't got nothing against her either. I think she would be a real good one though if she
Yeah.
did
As long
play
as she
it.
passionate.
My thing about
I'm
Rogue
done.
though is Rogue was thick in the cartoons.
Nah, they want to keep bringing up too.
What's the name thick though? Kiki
Ooh.
Palmer thick.
Is she?
Yeah, she got body on.
Super thick boy.
Not that is all about her body.
She passionate about
Now,
what
now,
No,
now,
man, look.
now you're saying
Oh, see, our super thick might be different definitions,
yeah,
bro.
she look like
I mean,
a
no,
boy.
no,
Nope.
I mean,
she more passionate about getting in shape.
Next, come on, Jason.
I said,
next.
well, whoever they cast is whoever they cast.
Facts.
So, we'll see how that turns
As
out.
long as they passionate about it and getting in shape for that role, that's all that matters.
Next.
Now we're on to Harrison Ford playing Thunderbolt Ross. I don't even know who Thunderbolt
I don't
Ross
know
is, so
Thunderbolt-
I'm
Alright,
gonna
so William
slide
Hurt.
this to the experts.
William Hurt.
Let me do the backstory.
Yeah, go ahead, do the backstory.
Passionate backstory.
Put your mask on. God damn it. William Hurt played Ross before. Ross was the older white dude,
Yeah.
gray hair, white hair, who tried to arrest them all up in Captain
War.
America Civil War. He was
Okay.
the one after Hulk all the time.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, well, since William Hurt passed away, he was supposed to have been a big part of the Thunderbolts film.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in retrospect, I mean, in character, it's between him and Norman Osborn is in it.
I mean, his nickname was
Well-
Thunderbolt Ross.
But so they were looking for a replacement. His name was supposed to have been announced at D23, but Kathleen Kennedy from Lucasfilm decided to block it because they wanted it to make it all about Indiana Jones and him being his last thing. Who cares? I mean, you got Harrison Ford. I mean, that's going to carry weight no matter what he's doing. You could have said that he was in the Indiana Jones film, and that would have really got people jumping on board with this with the Thunderbolts movie, but they didn't do it.
You know who else I would have been okay with? The dude that they played as the blind man. Not the blind man. What the fuck they call that movie? He was in Avatar. He was the general in Avatar.
Steve
Oh
Lang.
yeah.
Steve Lang. I'd have been okay with him being him. I wanted him to be Cable years ago.
Yeah, that's
He
why
wanted
that's
the
why I
part.
wanted to be Cable
I wanted
too.
him to be Cable a long time ago.
He
But-
really wanted it, but they said that they didn't want him for some reason.
But
I wanted him or what's the name? Hellboy.
the original
Ron
helmet, Ron Perlman.
Yeah, I wanted Ron Perlman or Stephen Lang, but we did not get either one of those. For
nah,
Cable.
Yeah.
well, and it's even crazier because the other guy who they wanted for Cable was Kyle Chandler. Or was Chandler. He was in Godzilla. He was the dad in the King of the Monsters movie.
Oh, okay.
He was
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
casted as Cable. The studio said no because they was like they wanted a more grittier actor. And
Okay.
that's where they had where Ryan Reynolds and Tim Miller had to falling out because he was like,
The people that casted them didn't want him.
nah.
They
Well,
wasn't passionate.
I'm done with that.
Yeah, seriously. Well, apparently, no, I'm sorry.
The people that hired him didn't
Well,
want
the people who were in charge of the film didn't want Kyle Chandler. The studio didn't want him, but the filmmaker wanted him.
Oh, okay.
And that's where they had Ryan Reynolds jumped in, and he basically said he wanted Brolin. He didn't want him, and he was like, "I wanted to make this more of a character."
Ryan Reynolds.
Well, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, for the Deadpool.
For the Deadpool thing.
Yeah.
There's a whole backstory on that. That's why they had that big falling out between Miller and him. It was,
He the EP.
because they decided to go with the star over the director, and you see where the direction went with the second film. That's why it got slammed. And the first film was more acclaimed because Tim Miller was
like the
involved.
second one. I like
was
them
okay.
both. I like them both.
And it's kind of bad. I mean, and you feel bad for Tim Miller in a way because he's the one that kind of low key. Him and Ryan Reynolds. I mean, this is like a classic Judas case.
But
I like the second. I just felt like the second one could have been a lot more than what it was. I mean, it was a good time. Yeah.
I don't even remember the second one.
Cable.
I only saw it the one time.
It had Cable and I did. You know,
like that?
you know one thing that bothered me. I felt like Colossus's arms weren't proportionately long enough for his body in that movie. Like, go back and look at the images. I felt like they just weren't long enough.
So would you say they weren't passionate about his design?
They weren't passionate about the proportions.
They skipped that part. They skipped the passion.
We labeling it episode 12. They ain't gonna say nothing else, but episode 12.
The passions of Christ.
The passion of Brian. That's what this episode gonna be called, by the way.
So is that all we have?
Yeah, it's cool. I'm okay with Harrison Ford doing it, but you know, if they found some other gray haired dude to play it, I'm cool with that too. It's cool.
Why not just recast it, make it a different character?
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
Because he's
Thunderbolt is a big part of
Yeah,
that
that's
universe.
His name is
T'Challa
Thunderbolt
is a big part
Ross.
of Black Panther, and they're not doing T'Challa for Black Panther.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an argument for it.
If I'm going to compare it, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I will say with this: Thunderbolt is in the name of the movie. His name is what's his first name? Jim Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
It's not called T'Challa Black Panther. It's called Black Panther.
But it's still, a person in real life.
It's somebody
who
in the
passed away.
suit. Spider-Man could be Miles Morales. It could be Peter Parker. It could be.
But the
whoever.
person that was playing him passed away. So it was, I think that you could get away with bringing in another character.
They could have just omitted him out of it all, honestly, and let it be done. But obviously, they felt some type of tie to this character playing it. So
I feel like they do that a lot with some Marvel characters. Like, I don't know, I could do without them, but we keep seeing them.
yeah.
But
I mean, we got a hologram Tupac. So.
Yeah, we did. And he actually was moving, and he looked really good on.
I mean, that's because Tupac's in Cuba, but that's a whole nother story. So that's all for Harrison Ford. Now, shifting away from movies and comics onto sports, namely the NFL, namely Thursday Night Football, where my Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Dolphins, and the Dolphins took more than just one loss that night. They ended up losing their star quarterback, who was playing great this year, Tua. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name.
Tongalua.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. So, backtracking to last Sunday's game against the Bills, Tua took a hit and hit his head on the turf, on the ground. To me, I'm not a doctor, but it definitely looked like he had a concussion. He got up, he was all wobbly, stumbling, and he actually falls down before getting up a second time. He goes back for the concussion protocol, comes back in the second half to play. I didn't understand how he made it back into the game, but he did. Fast forward into last Thursday, he takes another hit, hits his head on the ground one more time, and this time sustains possibly brain and neck injuries. Everybody saw it, the fingers, the neurological reaction with the finger, with the fingers, and
Might have to stop this episode and start again, man.
but yeah, he sustained another would obviously a concussion, if not more. I personally think some heads are going to roll off of this.
The boy got fired. The doctor who cleared him got fired. The independent doctor that administered the protocol testing. I'll get all you guys' opinions first. Tavon or Jules? Go ahead, Jules.
I look at it as a deeper problem with not only just they let this man go out there on his shield, knowing he wasn't hurt. Was it Thursday night? It was last Sunday.
You mean knowing he was hurt?
Yeah, he was hurt. I mean, as players, we all play sports. If you get hurt, your mind just like, well, I can go out there and I can still go. I still go. But when something like that happens, that's scary. Anytime you mess with the head, and it's got to be some protocols in place to say, look, enough. For him collapsing on the ground was enough for me. The first time, he shouldn't even been out there Thursday night playing. Now he got hit and he got some serious. He may have a serious brain. This may cost him his season, maybe his career. Who knows what's going on upstairs? Because obviously you can't really trust the NFL with the player safety right now. Because if they let him go out there and he's already concussed, and now you got this thing happening, so it's a deeper issue with it going on. I also think if he's hurt, I would be suing the league. I would be suing the Dolphins. I would be suing anything. The doctor that even cleared me to supposedly go out there and play. Because it's no way in hell he should have been out there playing, getting hit.
Corey, I see your facial expressions down there.
The whole moral of the story, that's a grown man, right? He sit there. I done seen players not going to games. Look out for their players got all the power. They said he got cleared. He could have been man enough and said, no, I can't play this week. So you can't keep blaming the league for that. He chose to go out there.
But also, I feel like the coaches could stop him once they say you're not going in. No matter how much he wants to play.
Okay, cool. But
they could have said.
Nah.
It's a two-way street.
Nah, his ass should not have been out there on that field at all.
Well, he went out there.
And you see what happened.
Because it'd be similar to a boxer. You have your corner. You might want to keep fighting, but they might have to throw in the towel on you. You could be mad at your corner man. You could be mad at your coach. You could be mad at whoever. But they say, hey, they're looking at it from the outside. Yo, he's done. He can't fight anymore. Not to mention, I also feel like.
So where was that Sunday then?
What was that Sunday?
Where was that Sunday when he got hurt against Buffalo? I didn't hear nobody say that.
Oh, you must not talk to me then, because I said he shouldn't have been in the second half.
People in general. Where was that on Sunday?
I don't know. I can only talk for me.
They didn't make it a big deal. Fucking Sunday.
So what was the score? What was the score going in the half? Y'all remember it was a close game by halftime or no?
I can't remember the score exactly.
All right, so if we
going
want
on Sunday,
yeah.
It was a close game.
It was a close game. See, but that's a competitive thing too, right? It's like, I can't give up on my team. It's a close game. It's different if it was a blowout. I'm not coming back in the game if it's a blowout.
But it should.
But if I got a chance to win this game and y'all saying I'm all right, I'm gonna go back out.
But it has to be a protocol in place to.
Well, that's what they believe is in place, but obviously
I don't think it is. To me, it's just a deeper issue that the league and the league in general don't care. That's the reaction, the visionary that I'm looking at.
I can see Corey's argument though,
Yeah.
where somebody
just
is
put
like
flags on him and we can just end this whole argument. That's just pissing me off.
Ain't no passion in flag football.
We all gonna have an opinion. We can all get pissed off at each other's opinions.
No, I'm not talking about
people get hurt,
People
especially
make
in
a big deal
football.
about it.
Especially in football, you gonna get dinged up, man. You think you could just walk. You're gonna be like, I'm good.
But tell me if I'm wrong. But then if he sat out, then people start bitching about
saying
him.
he wasn't right. So it's also a thing where
It's a
he don't want to
two-way
look
street.
like he gave up on his team.
Exactly.
So if it's a close game, then I can see why he came back out. And y'all saying I'm all right, then I'm gonna go back out there. If it was a blowout, I bet you he would have said, "Yeah, I'm out."
Oh, he has no passion. He has no heart. He quit on his
He
team.
keep wearing the helmet.
I mean, me personally, as somebody that played football and watches football, if anybody watched him after that hit in that game against the Bills, and he didn't come back in the game, and if they said he ain't, if they putting the blame on him, they don't know nothing about football. You've never watched football. You don't know what a concussion is at all.
I've had two.
Like anybody saying that, like it was just like one of those things. It was just super obvious to me. And what I think personally, because they were already investigating it going into Thursday's game. Before Thursday's game happened, they were already talking about it.
Yeah, they were interviewing the guys on that Friday.
There's going to be an investigation. I think had not what happened Thursday happened, they might have been able to kind of bob and weave it a little bit, but what happened Thursday is definitely, it brought the whole cannon on them, man.
Just the visual.
And I don't think blame is on one person. I think blame's on a lot of people in that situation.
That's what I'm saying.
Tua shouldn't have went in.
That's what I said.
Tua shouldn't have went in, but also the coaches shouldn't have let him go in. And it really, at the end of the day, whoever quote unquote administered the concussion protocol testing definitely dropped the ball.
That's all I said. But no,
I think it's something a little difficult to measure. And I'm not saying from either person's perspective. I think it's something hard to measure to extent damage if you take into a brain in any given incident, right? And so maybe in that moment after he got razzle-dazzled, he felt fine. Maybe he did pass whatever standard test that they do for. I think what this past incident showed now, though, is that they have to be extra cautious now. So whatever, say if you went into concussion protocol for a week, they may extend it to 2 weeks now.
Well,
They have to give extra precaution because this stuff is not known until later on in life with CTE or when they die, when they examine your brain after you die and say, oh, look at the difference that this brain from a football. I'll tell you one thing, though. If I have a son and I love watching football, but it's hard for me to justify let my son play football with what's come out in the past 10 years. It's. I think honestly they should be paid more for what they toll out on their body. Soccer players fall out on the floor off of everything. Baseball players to me are the least athletic out of every sport. Second least out of the golf.
MLB don't come for us.
And they get paid the most. And for them to put their bodies out the way they do, I mean, you obviously can see some comparisons to that slave, market, but it's hard for me to say to my son, like, I want you to play football after watching this.
I'm literally, I have a 9-year-old, so, and he likes playing sports. I'm real hesitant on him. Even we had him in flag football and he fell down, and I was just like, "Ooh." Now you're talking about these collisions. I mean, this is going around Pop Warner now with this stuff.
But you have to think. To me, it's like the repetitiveness throughout their life of you hit your head here 1 year, a couple years later you hit it again. Something. It's hard, and then they're definitely trying to clean it up. They're trying to make sure the tackles are clean and certain things are happening. But
I guess they got supposedly more secure helmets. And
then when they train now, I saw that they had the big bobblehead helmets in the training camp now. But
and they did actually say that the doctor that administered the test, quote unquote, made many mistakes. So
yeah,
we're saying past the.
I think they just
passed. How much you think he getting paid? How much he got paid though?
Because even though they say independent, I'm like, is he really independent though?
I think they're trying to pass the buck off on it. I don't think this really solves the problem. It's going to enhance it more so now.
Go ahead, Corey. I
feel what y'all saying. That's just me. He shouldn't have been out on that field at all.
Corey.
No, I'm good. Y'all go ahead.
I heard a huff. Is it something about what I said against football, or is just?
No, it's nothing. It's just...
Me personally, I think I'm like Jason. When you saw that man stumble, and fall over, that was like, okay, you can't play anymore. And letting him play again reminds me of that scene in Any Given Sunday.
Yep.
When Lawrence Taylor got juiced up to give that one last tackle so he can get his money. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Tua has been under the the microscope for the past season and a half.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, he ain't getting it done. They went out and got him this weapon in Tyreek Hill. Now he ain't got no excuses for why he shouldn't be winning. So he got all that pressure, building up on him to go out there and succeed. And then this happens to him, and in his mind's like, man, I was already injured once. I can't go out there and and keep getting injured because they're going to try to ship me out of here, and it's going to mess up my money later on in life. So he probably like, you know what, I'm all right. How many fingers I got up? Or you got up 3? Okay, yeah, I see 3 of them too. But at the end of the day,
how many fingers he had up when he got hit?
All he had to see was
that shit was
him
crazy.
dropping.
Yeah, one finger was like this.
Yeah, they were saying
that thing was back.
Well, one of the commentators was saying they thought it was broken. It
looked like it was
the way
broken.
It was.
Yeah.
He broke his hand.
Yeah, Al Michael said that. He said, I thought he broke his fingers. Then when he turned over, and I was like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah, and I definitely get it because he's been playing lights out this year. Like that comeback with the Ravens, he's been playing lights out this year. This is the year he's been waiting to have that he believed he could have.
You definitely don't want to give up on your teammates.
I don't know if anybody knows about him college-wise, but he's had a lot of surgeries.
Yeah,
and they said he's had 2 or 3 major ones, but they're saying he might have actually had 5 different surgeries in college. So and then he got hurt when he got his body, man. His body's going through a lot, but
and that's the scary part because he's only 24, I think.
He's he came in the same year as Joe Burrow. They were same same class because they wanted us to pick Tua.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, we want Burrow.
And I just feel bad for him because, like I said, I mean, he seemed like he a good kid, got his head on his shoulders. But
I just hope it ain't no long term stuff that.
Man.
That's all. If he takes some time out and he come back good for the rest of the season, I'm cool with that. But
I definitely think he's going to be out for some weeks.
We say something 15 years from now about why he what's old boy that
Junior Seau
himself.
Yeah.
Then
that was crazy too, man. So
I mean,
and other players are coming out now and saying how they got certain things like fogginess and just random things that they believe attribute to getting hit or hitting the head and but whatever.
I mean, yeah, just
I'm not here to change the system. All I'm saying is,
just protect the players.
Yeah,
more so if anything.
But you know what, man? Them tackles from the 90s and years. Woo!
Oh yeah,
those was entertaining. Them NBA blitz hits they was doing.
Well, ESPN had a segment called "Jacked Up," and they were showing like the top 10 hits when guys. Was
Lawrence Taylor was fucking motherfuckers up.
Man, he was
clothesline.
Man, he was on a brick going out there and still killing them dudes. Man.
Can I get some more Mad Dog?
Oh,
I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a Mad Dog today.
But yeah, so let's just hope Tua's okay.
Does anybody want any of the canned things? We got two cans left.
Yeah, I'll take whatever.
All right, give me a second.
I
got it. Oh, I can't reach in my headphones.
I ain't even drink this first one. Wherever it is, Devil's Backbone. Hey, this is some good stuff.
Would you like a bear or would you like some of that Orange Smash?
Which one is not is too hard to get for you?
They're both the same right now. So.
I don't know that.
This one falling. Oh, you want the middle? Right. That was an easier one to get.
The orange one fell down as soon as Brian said it.
I said, nope.
It said I didn't want to get Drake. Yo, as soon as he said it, fell on the side.
It did.
I don't blame you.
And speaking of hard to get, how was AEW show live?
AEW.
Before we get into that real quick, I just gotta make sure everybody see this. Let me get this out of the way here. Hey, yeah, that's a good view right there.
Because everybody loves the Acclaim.
Oh, Sesame Daddy. Oh, Sesame.
And they were singing that in the stadium in the arena.
It was a good time.
Had a good time. It was
We
fun.
had some
It's
decent
fun.
seats. We had some good seats.
We bought them at the box office.
Yeah.
The girl that helped us, she was a very nice woman. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's very pleasant. Very
What was
pleasant.
the crowd vibe like?
Oh,
Drunk.
Philly.
Yeah, that's
Passionate.
Like one
into
next to us.
Into it, yeah. She was going crazy.
Ooh, I gotta show y'all the video.
When MJF said something, she said,
was
"Shut
cursing.
the fuck up and sit down."
Everybody looking at her. She yelling at the top of her lungs.
She was
Little skinny girl.
entertaining. Yo, she was entertaining
The whole time.
Yo, she was in on everything.
Me and her had the matching shirt.
Yeah.
We both had to. But yeah, passionate. I would definitely say that. Passionate and drunk.
Yeah. It's fun.
But it was a fun time.
It's a fun atmosphere.
Y'all boy was there. You ain't see him, but what's the boy with the long
Sean
hair?
from Rooney's.
He was out there, long hair.
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. Yeah, Bret Hart. Bret Hart.
These motherfucking replica belts look gooder than the motherfucker.
People would walk around with them.
They look healthy, and we about to get rocked.
I'm like, man, right?
They look good. They look good. But you know how much AEW selling their belt for?
Like $600
$850
for a replica.
I think they mark them up at the live.
I want the one that Moxley wore into the ring. If I'm gonna pay $800.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need that.
they were nice. So people walk around.
But yeah, there were some nice looking belts.
I wanted to ask the one dude, yo, can I just hold it for a minute?
What
Just hold it.
surprised me until he brought it up is that they filmed both nights on the same night. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That kind of takes away. And I never watched Friday nights anyway, but
We got to see it live and in color this time.
yeah, it's
time
definitely
did
a
it
less
start?
crowd.
Yeah, the crowd
right after, like maybe like 15 minutes after they changed the, but it's definitely a lesser crowd in the Rampage.
Because everybody's then left. They didn't watch.
Everybody drunk and ready to go.
And then
A lot of hours of sitting.
and then also because me and him got in there, we got in there right around 8, but it starts at 7 because they
They
show
did the start.
They
Yeah.
shoot dark
They shoot dark.
before then Dynamite, and
That's too
then
much.
They shoot
a-
everything on one night.
that's
And-
4 hours of wrestling.
That's too
And
much.
all I would like to say is, if you had an FTR jacket on, and please DM me on Instagram. I have a question about your jacket. But
You ain't
please DM me. But
Woman with the hashtag
And then-
FTR jacket. Tri-State tip. You know what it is.
He's single.
it wasn't a woman. It was just the FTR jacket.
I'm kidding.
So like, what happens like in the transitions, like when they're switching from Dynamite to Rampage? What is the transition like when they're
So
switching?
there's a guy in a suit that comes out, and he's basically entertaining a crowd.
What's the
between
face?
time.
It's what's his name? Justin Roberts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's pretty much the MC for the whole night, like in between
Oh, wow.
all the stuff that you don't see on TV. The in between.
Now, does he change his suit?
Yeah, they all change clothes.
Yeah, they did.
Justin Roberts, he just wears like a
that.
black suit though. His
Yeah,
thing's
he
always a
wears-
black suit. But like the people, because
Yeah.
Rebel had on. Rebel was wearing one outfit for Dynamite, and then she came out with a different outfit.
She did.
For Rampage.
I will say that he had a good time with oh man, if we had that other section though, the Jamie Hayter.
yeah.
Oh my God, if we was on the opposite side, they had the best seats in the house. But yeah, it was Jamie Hayter versus Willow.
Nightingale.
Yeah,
That's cool, but who-wee.
There's a lot. Got
That's
to
what
see.
I wondered. I wondered how they transition. Like,
Yeah,
what is that?
That's a
It's
lot,
not.
though, man.
It's not super long. It's not a real long. It's just like a little intermission.
Yeah.
they're pretty quick with the. All they do is change the side aprons. They change the because everybody's sitting there counting.
And he's reading signs, talking to the fans.
Yes. There was a woman there that was there. She had just beat cancer. I forget her name, but shout outs to her. They shouted her about 2-3 times.
More than that.
Yeah,
Shout her a lot.
yeah. And then she was up in the front on the floor seats in the section. I forget your name, lady, but hey, congratulations.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, they and then even I guess the people that are used to being there for it, while the Dynamite graphic was still on the screen. I think you were out getting your shirt. People start chanting, change the graphic, change the graphic, change the graphic, and then when it changes to Rampage, they cheer. So I mean, it's a fun time. It's real fun.
Yeah, is it? All right, I have a question. Is it weird that I prefer to watch, sporting events and even like wrestling included? I'd rather watch that at home than be there.
I can see that argument. And honestly, the camera angles and the commentary all play to the illusion of wrestling.
It makes it better for me.
When you don't hear everything, when you don't get the camera angles, you obviously see the stageness behind it. Yes, I do agree with that. But it's something about being part of it that just
And the atmosphere.
being a part of the chanting and being, because you could hear the person who starts the chant. There was a whole thing about pizza.
We want
and
pizza.
it was like pizza. The dude started it like from the right side of. We didn't know who exactly, but you hear him from the right side.
Because I remember when me and Jason went with one of our other boys, Derek. Shout out to Derek. We had went to Ring of Honor, and they had a plant in the audience who was banging on the rails to try to like start the chants up. So whenever he would like, I remember I caught on to it when AJ Styles was wrestling Jay Lethal, and he was banging on the thing. AJ Styles, he the first one, doom doom doom, and then he like turned around.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And then like when we went to go get our clothes, like our shirts and stuff, he was behind like the merchandise stand talking to them. So I was like, oh, okay, they got a guy here that helps hype the crowd up. So that's why I was wondering, like, okay,
definitely for every other week of the year, I'll be watching it at home, but just to be a part of it once.
I think the AEW people were just drunk and started.
Oh yeah, it was definitely drunk. That was a Philly crowd. It was definitely drunk people. It was definitely drunk. By the time we got to Rampage, it was a whole group behind us. They was just there to be drinking. They wasn't even there for the show anymore.
I just find it more entertaining. Like if we like when we used to go to Wild Wings all the time and watch it, like that to me is more entertaining. Than like being at the event, because like you said, hearing the commentators, it brings a different feel when you can hear them, telling the wrestling match's story.
But all I know is that the Claim have arrived.
Yeah, they are over like hell.
They getting pops like crazy.
Or maybe I got to sit front row.
And I think, you know what? And just hope one day I want to get a pay-per-view front row. WrestleMania is the god tier of it. I wanted to get it years ago when they had it in New Jersey. I think The Rock came back that year too.
They coming to Philly.
But WrestleMania front row, if I can ever afford it, that is my
like a $10,000 ticket.
I was about to say,
not more.
If I can ever afford that is my bucket list.
They said They said the cheap seats probably is going to be about at least $900.
Yeah,
maybe a rack.
Front row Mania.
It's supposed to be 2 nights, so you're looking at easily.
I'll start saving up now.
Speaking of front row, I have a friend of mine's, one of my coworkers, her husband, and I'm real cool with. He actually has a floor seat ticket for me at Extreme Rules this Saturday. And I'm not going to be able to go because I have to work. Yeah, I got to work Saturday night. So if you're watching, Bill, buddy,
who's on that?
Appreciate it.
You know who's on that card?
No.
I barely and it's crazy. That whole card stipulation is like a stipulation in it. Every one of the match has like a hardcore like.
There's no regular matches.
Nah.
You know one thing that I can say about being there live that you can't get from TV because of editing and whatever they do in production. By the time you watch it on TV, you get a real feel for who's over. And who the crowd really likes, you heard for years, like this company pumps and stuff, this company does this, everybody's doing something different. But when you live, you can't fake what we heard.
Right.
Like we were there, the Acclaim was over.
The Acclaim got that pop.
When I went to the last show,
who got the loudest pop?
By the Acclaim.
The Acclaim.
Everybody
stood up.
That last show I went to in the spring, Scorpio Sky was over like hell.
Where is he?
Injured. He got hurt shortly after winning it. Okay. I think he did a couple matches and then dropped it.
Oh, from that ladder match with Sammy.
Yeah,
I think they both got broke off.
That's the one I went to. That was the main event, and that crowd went crazy when Scorpio Sky won. So it's like you get a real feel for who's over versus you hear people talk about I heard this, I heard that. No, I was there.
That Jericho song Snap.
Yeah, it go they go
that
hard
Jericho
for that.
song Snap. Everybody being
and the fact that they were able to do it twice.
They played it twice. That thing Snap. Ocho.
Yeah,
the Ocho.
I can't get down.
I don't know that meaning, but the
Jericho,
Ocho.
Man. I can't get down with
They
Jericho.
played that song in Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm. when he was rotting out.
Yeah. That's on Snap. Everybody be in there saying it.
It was going hard.
Real
They
quick
were.
on
I like Jericho till I found out some things, so I'm over Jericho now.
Hey,
off
I never was much of a Jericho.
off topic
fan, but-
real quick. Since everybody, a majority has seen Cobra Kai.
No, I haven't at all. Yeah, I'm 2 seasons behind, so I didn't watch 4 or 5.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
This
yes.
season was
Pump the brakes on that.
fire.
All right, buddy.
From what I see online, there's a lot of people that don't like it, but there's a bunch of people that still do like it. But a lot of people that don't like it is like because they didn't like the original Karate Kid.
Yeah, so it's not for you.
I can see that, but it's a good series.
This
man.
season was fire.
The way they pulled out all this into like a cohesive storyline, it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get on it ASAP.
I don't care if Chosen was my dude this season.
And the fights is good enough for a TV series, but the storyline keeps you in there.
I like the fact that they keep it 80s with their fighting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not too over the top because it's not like.
And now, if you make that movie with the how they fight now, everybody would have been having to learn Krav Maga.
Yeah.
And
John Wick shit.
Yeah.
John Wick shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what messed me up? The one episode. I think this is season 3, when my man from the original crew came to hang out one last time.
Oh,
And then he really passed away. And I was
right
like,
after filming.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That whole episode hit completely different. I was
Well,
like,
the thing was they made that. That wasn't originally like an episode they were supposed to have made. But when they found out that he was sick, they all was like, "We got to do this
As a tribute.
before something happens to him."
that was dope, though.
Yeah.
That episode was dope. It's one of my favorites.
It's kind of like what they did for Val Kilmer and Top Gun. I mean, even though Val Kilmer hasn't passed away, I think they did that just because they were like, "Hey, we need you a
I
part of this
didn't
legacy."
know he was
Sick.
that bad.
Yeah, well, he had hit it for God knows how long.
He would deny it. Like he would be doing interviews with like a scarf around his neck, and they would ask him, is he okay? And he
Ain't
said,
you
"Oh, I'm
hot?
just a little
You not
under the
hot?
weather."
No, I'm good.
But no, it'd be like winter
You
time. They said
sure?
that he was like
It's-
under the weather. He
it's
told people he was a
July.
little sick and
You
all
got a
that.
scarf on.
But yeah, he did that. They did that for him
Yeah.
for legacy.
But yeah, it was a good time.
Also,
So-
Val Kilmer was a damn good actor, though, man. I love it.
Subjective of the movie choices he made, but
No, I'm not.
You know what movie I like?
he did a lot of stuff that he.
You probably gonna be like, I love the movie The Island of Dr. Moreau.
It was a good
I love
movie.
that movie.
That's that movie gave them all kinds of hell.
I love that movie.
Ghost in the Darkness, Island, Dr. Moreau,
Tombstone was my favorite. With him.
Tombstone. Obviously,
Willow.
the Batman movie he had wasn't.
Willow.
Willow.
Batman. Batman Forever.
Yeah, he didn't do too bad as
I forgot all
Batman.
about that movie.
He was a good Batman.
Is
in
that the
bad
one where he had the
movie.
nipples?
Yep.
No.
No, that was the first. No, that
That's
might
who
have
had
been
the
him.
nipples on it,
Yeah,
yup.
yeah, it might
He
have been
fought
him.
Two-Face and Riddler.
Yeah, he fought Two-Face and Riddler.
Man,
Jim Carrey.
we shall never talk about that one, man.
You know what? I would like to see Jim Carrey play a Riddler now, though.
Over
Seeing
the
the
guy
stuff.
that just had.
Oh yeah, there was a Riddler. Never mind. Sorry, Jim. We're gonna go ahead and slide that back.
I'm telling you, Jim Carrey played Daddy in a remake of Under the People Under the Stage.
I can see him playing a Scarecrow too, though. I always feel like whoever could play Riddler could also play Scarecrow. They kind of feel similar to me.
Similar, yeah.
Since we are in October and it's considered spooky month,
Spooky.
like what upcoming horror films is coming out that y'all want to see? Other than the obvious.
Smile looks kind of wild to me.
I saw it yesterday.
Oh, the tone of your voice.
It was dope.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was good.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday, and it was good until the end. And I feel like they had run the lap so many times in it that I think they just kind of like, how do we finish this?
Did they give you that obvious ending where you get that ending where
It's
Like-
a decent ending, but
because
it's
I
not
don't want to ruin the
shocking.
answer for me myself, but like
How do you rate the movie? How do you rate the ending?
say everybody?
At the movie as a whole, acting, atmosphere, the dialogue, character interactions, all that stuff that go into it, I give it about a 7.
Oh, that's good for Brian. That's great for
I
Brian.
give,
That's great for Brian.
I'll give it a 7. And the only reason why
predictable ending.
well, like I was saying, they ran the lap so many times that I just don't think they they knew what to do with the ending. So then I guarantee you, there's probably a version of it where it's different than what happened.
Okay.
That comes out in the theater
on the DVD.
Yeah, you'll get the alternate endings coming soon. What's name was in it and was surprisingly good. I thought he was gonna be like how he is in all of his movies. The guy that plays A-Train on The Boys.
Yeah.
I think he was in it. I forgot his name.
I can't remember his name either, but I know you're talking
about. But he was in it. He was one of the male leads, and he was as soon as I saw him come on screen, I said, "Oh man, he's gonna do A-Train," but he wasn't that. He was good in that. I was actually like, okay.
Question: is woman walking up to the car, knocking on the window scene in the movie?
With the head swivel. Her head swiveled to 6 o'clock.
Knocks on the window.
Yeah.
12 to 6.
Because that part's the part keep freaking me out.
Yeah. That's the only part I want to see how it played out.
That's the part of the commercial keeps freaking me out.
I don't care about.
and how that part comes up, because I'm like you. I was wondering, when is this part going to happen?
Yeah.
But it's in
okay.
There.
Okay. Sometimes you'll see something in the preview, you be looking for it in the movie, and be like,
But the part that leads up to that, to why she has to go to the house.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay. I might be sleeping with the lights on for a week.
I mean, the way how they did this one, like it's most horror movies now that come out, they all kind of follow the same template now, especially when they're dealing with forces unseen.
Yeah.
So they're kind of all following the same thing that's been working. But that scene which sets up that part right there, oh my gosh, dude.
Did that vampire movie come out or whatever they were supposed to be? With the chick from Game of Thrones, that been out? Mm-hmm. I gotta look at the reviews on that. But I'm assuming it's gonna be like a 6 or 7.
It was okay, but it was another one.
Yeah, just another one.
If you've seen it this weekend, you'd forget about it next weekend.
Yeah, only other Halloween thing I'm thinking about coming out is Bad Bunny's OnlyFans for October. But other than that, I ain't got nothing else.
I'm looking forward to the Chucky TV series. Oh Lord! My Lord!
Bad Barbie. Who I say?
Bad Baby.
Bad Barbie. However you say her name is. I said Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. Cash Me Outside.
Oh, okay, good.
Her October OnlyFans.
Oh, okay, that's way different.
It's supposed
than
to be
Bad Bunny.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. I ain't meant to see Bad Bunny. I meant to see Bad Barbie.
That bad dog hit.
That bad dog. Bad Barbie. Bad Barbie.
Said bad.
OnlyFans October.
What's the name's coming out?
I saw y'all got quiet.
Halloween.
No, I was going to say something else.
I didn't know what to say after that.
Bad Barbie.
I didn't know what to say after that.
I was going to say you got 2 of them coming out. Well, 3. You got Vampires from, what's it on? Interview with a Vampire series on
I think it's out already.
You got that coming out. You got
I like that movie.
The Chucky series coming out, and Hellraiser comes out.
Next Friday.
That's what I've been checking out. That Hellraiser.
And apparently they're giving it actually some good reviews. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. He's right there.
Obviously Halloween. I'll be watching on the Peacock Network.
Oh, you ain't gonna go support it in the theaters?
I ain't going to the theaters. I thought it was on Hulu.
Nah, it's on.
I'm being in the theater.
We talking about what?
Halloween.
Oh, you talking about okay? Never mind. I'm thinking Hellraiser.
It's on the Peacock. I'm paying for it.
Yeah. I'm after that second movie. I can't go to the theaters. I can't go to the theaters.
Only reason I'm going to the theaters because I saw the first 2 in the theater, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel that one out in the theater too.
No sir.
But I just think never mind. I ain't gonna do
that
it.
Boy.
Never mind.
The way that second movie ended,
I ain't even gonna go there.
I just hope they bring that little black boy back
again.
We'll save it for next week. Where we at? We at hour 22. What you want to do? You want to keep? You want to keep on, or you want Brian?
What? What's up?
Would it be weird
Mm-hmm.
if Michael Myers took his mask off and?
It would be weird.
It would be weird, right?
Yeah. If they show him without the mask on, it's gonna.
Didn't
be
they
weird.
show him without the mask in the first one?
No.
Do you know what he looks like?
Yeah,
they showed him in the first one.
They showed.
He killed somebody without the mask on.
Yeah, they showed him without the mask.
Yeah. In the first remake, or not the remake, but in the 2019.
They did it
2018.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about the one that's part of the one that's
The
out
new
now.
treacle.
They did?
Yeah, they did it.
God damn, boy, give me some more of this. What the fuck is a treacle?
A treacle.
What the fuck is
Yeah,
a
they did it twice.
Something that's supposed to be 3 times. I don't know.
Trifecta.
They did it in the beginning when he was in the bathroom when he killed Home Chick.
Hold on, real
And
quick.
then they did it again.
Just real quick. Corey, you up?
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
When it comes to Michael Myers movies, especially the last 3 that they've been having out, man, like common sense is abandoned. Common sense is abandoned.
Common ain't in none of them, but Busta Rhymes and LL Cool J was in there. Busta Rhymes and LL Cool J was in there.
I just know something. 2 rappers lived in them movies.
LL Cool J's acting contract states that he cannot die in his movies.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
He's never died in any of his movies.
That came out when they did Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea, he didn't die.
Yeah.
In the Halloween movie, he did not die.
Look,
Well, that's just like The Rock, where he said he can't get beat up a lot.
Yeah, he can only take like so many punches on
I
screen.
mean, Vin Diesel got him, didn't he?
Vin Diesel whooped that ass on Fast 5.
Yeah, Vin
I think it
Diesel
was
got
after
him.
that movie.
That's why they beefing now.
Yeah, that he couldn't get beat up in his
He's
movies.
beefing now.
I'm sorry. Like, come on now. Like, Van Damme got handled in his movies.
Yeah.
He
Gotta
was
make
the
it
smallest
believable.
of them all. I mean,
Shit.
yeah.
Keanu Reeves began worked on.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves takes some.
Keanu Reeves different though. He ain't like these other motherfuckers.
But question on the subject of Halloween: does Jamie Lee Curtis die in this one? Do you think?
And be dead for
Like
real?
you think she dies? Is this it?
I don't know.
Does she kill him?
This
Do
her
they
last-
both die?
This
Do
her
they both
last
die?
Halloween movie.
Yeah, she retired.
This her last Halloween movie.
She already said that.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think
can see her dying.
I think it should be the last one. Period. Like I think it's time to go ahead.
they
I
gonna
think
bring her
20
back.
years from now you can do another one. Not 5, maybe not even
put it
10.
to
I think
bed.
20 years from now.
Give us some new characters.
But you heard
It's coming back.
Well,
20 years from now, you remake the
The
original.
movie's made too much money for it. To be
man, that
abandoned,
character makes too much
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
especially when people buying it.
I think they're gonna go back to Jason after this and let Jason get some shine.
No, that's some,
They got too many legal woes.
that's a legal thing.
There's too
For
many
real?
legal woes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
'cause-
maybe they go back to Freddy Krueger, but they gonna switch people.
They were saying that it was a rumor that floated. They were saying that the Craven family was filled scripts. They had wanted to pitch it like they saw how the Chucky show was doing. And they was like, well, maybe we can do either a movie or an HBO series, like an anthology. They pitched it, but it didn't. I don't know how far in development
You're
it is.
thinking about it now, no. Like with all these things that people do to try to get sleep, all these drugs that people take. Like how do you factor Nightmare on Elm Street into 2022 and beyond? Like that character.
You can do that,
How?
the
Because-
melatonin monologues.
especially how many drugs they push and ZQL commercials
But
we
it's like,
get.
do you make his movie based on?
Melatonin.
No,
I
no.
would make it on somebody who has insomnia. I would do the opposite. Somebody who has a hard time sleeping, but when they do sleep, they fucking get terrorized by Freddy, and
But
then
why
they
is
have
he
to stay
there?
with. Huh?
Why is he there? Though? Why does he exist?
You can keep the same reasoning, but the main person of the story, I would make them somebody who has a hard time sleeping. And part of the reason is because they keep getting visited by him.
Freddy is my all-time number one, but I don't see how you make a modern Nightmare on Elm Street movie now without telling me a story before he became what he was.
So do we get a
I think-
origin story
I think
reboot?
I need what made him what he is. I need the end of the movie him turning into the dream slasher. I need a movie that tells me why he's like that. How did he get to that way?
All I
Because
know is
all of the remakes of everything that comes out now, they are who they are. It's basically they're saying, hey people, you know who these characters are, you know what they've done, but this time we're gonna make it cooler how we kill people or how we do different things, and the setting is gonna be different.
make
That's what
it
they've done
a
with Chucky and
psychological
Hellraiser.
thriller. Make it a psychological thriller where the person don't know what's real or what's a dream.
I'd
He don't
make
know
it
if
like
he's asleep
7.
or if he awake.
I'd make it like 7.
I make it like he's almost going insane and can't tell reality from dream.
Who, Freddy or the
The person who we're following. He just be walking, going to work, and then some crazy shit happen, and he wake up into another dream, but you don't know if he up or if he sleep or not.
Well, how do you
That's how I
how do
do
you
it.
influx Freddy into that?
Because when the fucked up shit happen, it's Freddy.
But how does Freddy get involved? Like how that's what I'm
I don't know,
saying,
but
like,
every time he come in, you hear Meek Mills, you hear Dream Chasers come in, it's just, and then
do no more Mad Dog for Tavon. 'Cause I can't even take you seriously.
we are
Like,
129.
I'm talking about in these movies now, like how do you make that? How do you?
I would make it
relevant?
a psychological type of thing where the viewer don't know if anything we're seeing is real or a dream.
That's an idea. I also have an idea. Do we make it a psychological thriller or something similar to what you're saying? Origins, pretty much an origin story. What Brian's asking for. We make that. I don't know how you do it because once you say the name Freddy Krueger, people know. But making it an origin story for him, but we don't even know it's a Freddy. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know it's Freddy. Like you don't figure out till the end of the movie that
treat him like an urban legend.
Almost like how in Split you didn't know it was connected or had anything to do with Unbreakable until the end, and you were like, but I don't know how you do that because you got to say his name, and we all obviously know who Freddy Krueger is.
It's a tricky movie, a tricky character. Well,
Can you give him aliases? Would that work?
All that to me sounds like the middle of the movie. Like I'm trying to figure out how do you?
I wouldn't make the movie about Freddy Krueger.
Why not?
Well, not like don't focus on it.
It has to be though.
Focus on the person and their fucked up dreams that they're having.
Well, you gotta have,
and then at the end or towards like 3/4 in the middle.
So you're already going to give Freddy his abilities.
Yeah.
I want to see how he got.
Let the sequel explain that.
Well, I don't think you can do that in 2022.
No, we'll be there.
I'd honestly be interested in seeing how he got.
I think that's because we've seen that if you do it like that, no matter how you do it with this main character, it's still a retread. Because you gotta show how Freddy became Freddy.
So
you'll see it in the sequel, but we all know how Freddy became.
Here's my question on it: would y'all rather see a movie or would y'all see like a mini series? Because I think it's got enough.
If you do a mini series, I do it the way you say.
A movie.
If you're doing it the movie way, I think you got to tell it from Freddy's perspective because we've never seen it from his perspective.
And that's a brand new idea that we've never seen before.
Never from his vantage point.
I think both could work.
Yeah, like you said, a TV series, which you said perfect because then we get to get adapted to a whole new set of people that's a part of M Street.
Only reason why I'm saying that is because how they doing the Chucky show, it actually works.
I don't think you can repeat the formula. That's why.
And Brian, are you willing to take on these responsibilities of writing? Because that's I like that idea. Bro, I like that idea of not knowing his story.
A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Terminator, and The Predator are my bucket list films if I get there.
I like that idea because we have never had the backstory for Freddy like fully.
They did one a long time ago, but it was
series.
Yeah, and it had some good parts in it, and it had some terrible parts in it. But you can kind of see where they were kind of like edging on it. But
I just think it's one of them things, kind of like with Michael Myers, like what drives him, what makes him what he is. And I think that's what this attracts me to Michael Myers because he's just. If you're explaining to me that he's a force of nature and that's how he does what he does, and I know that there are people in real life that don't feel pain, they have all these things that happen to them, and they're like that. Like I get that, but you never told me that.
Okay.
So now, like this whole time, I'm just confused on what Michael Myers is because you haven't.
Don't nobody know. If you
look at it,
to me, it takes me out of it.
If you look at it, Freddy's backstory,
to me, it kind of makes it a comedy.
What made it a comedy is how he got out of that second when it just happened. Well, that was some bullshit.
Well, Freddy's backstory is real good in itself. I mean, as I said, if you're going back to the past, he was born in an insane asylum.
Right. His mother was raped. Like all of that stuff. That's deeper than somebody that's got insomnia.
I'm not saying that.
No. I'm not taking away from Freddy's story, but that's how we get people into the next movie. What I'm saying right now is I'm making a movie that don't let nobody know it's Freddy Krueger until the end. And that's how you do it. You make it about a person who got insomnia because every time he sleep, he having these fucked up crazy shit of somebody coming after him. And it's a psychological movie and you don't know what's real, what's dream. But in the end, or 3/4 in the movie, you realize it's fucking Freddy Krueger coming after this motherfucker. In the sequel, yeah. It had 2 parts.
I wouldn't even let them know.
It had 2 parts.
So where do you? In your idea, I still don't see where.
I'm just saying you take the genre a little different. You don't make it that slasher campy movie that it was. You make it you make it feel different. I'm giving it a different feel.
I get that because there are certain things like they touched on it in the 2010 remake. about the people that take micro naps and stuff like that. A lot of college students do that so they can get through their studies and whatnot. But I'm just saying, I need to know what makes Freddy Krueger Freddy Krueger.
And we'll explore that later on.
That's what I'm saying.
Before you tell me anything else about anybody,
oh well, then that's different. That's different.
I need to know that.
That's different.
I need to know why is he there? Why am I at the theater to watch a Nightmare on Elm Street movie when it's not about Freddy Krueger?
Well, you ain't here to watch a Nightmare on Elm Street. You're here to watch my movie. You just found out that it's tied in.
I won't watch it if you're not telling me that.
You just went to go see Smile and that vampire movie. I know you're gonna be in there.
No, I won't. No, it's Nightmare on Elm Street is different for me.
You ain't gonna know it's Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what I'm saying.
A Nightmare on Elm Street movie is different for me. That's my job. I
did watch Season of the Witch.
Oh, the third Halloween? Okay.
What the fuck was that?
That's what I thought.
Yo,
I love it.
That big ass stone and the dude disappeared like he was Red Skull. What the fuck was that movie that I just watched? It was a robot.
I feel the same way
or
about
some
it.
shit.
I feel the same way.
I
what
like
the
it.
fuck was that?
It borrowed from a lot of movies.
I feel like it would have been fine if it just wasn't a Halloween
If it
movie.
was a
If just
different name.
That was not Halloween at all.
It had a bit of Children of the Corn.
Yeah, it was a little bit of everything.
It was weird. It was
I would not recommend it.
What is the movie from? What? It was,
I liked it. Man.
I can't recommend that.
What's the other John Carpenter movie? The Fog. Like it had all those kind of.
Was that the one with the oh no, I'm thinking of Miss.
That's the
that came
Stephen
out.
King. I'm thinking of
thinking of
you talking about the Tom Welling one came out later on.
That
We're
was
not Tom
terrible.
Welling.
I never watched that.
That
I
was
didn't
terrible.
bother-
The Superman, the
I
Super
didn't even bother
boy,
watching that.
whatever he
Do
was.
not watch that. That is awful.
I didn't even bother.
It's
I
bad.
bypassed that.
You know a guilty pleasure of mine? I'm a big fan of Pumpkinhead.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pumpkinhead movies,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love them.
They were trying to
Lance
remake
Henriksen.
them.
And then Trick or Treat movies too. Trick or Treat's my joint.
I've never saw none.
That's good.
Yeah, I like Trick or Treat. Is a little
Trick or Treat is
what's
real
What's his
good.
name? Sammy. What's his name?
Sam.
Yeah, Sam. I love the movies.
I've got a horror movie idea that I'm gonna be putting down on my laptop, and I'm not giving it away on the podcast because I don't want nobody to beat me to it. But
yeah.
I honestly can tell you it is a kind of movie where it hasn't been done yet. This serial killer that I have for my next script has never been seen before. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm with that.
Hashtag Jade at midnight.
Jade at midnight. Like the color jade, that green jade.
That's the character's name.
Oh, okay.
One of the characters' name.
All right.
Who that?
That's the alarm telling us that the show is about to wrap.
I like that.
It's about to
I
wrap.
like how you do that.
Did the Sandman just come out on stage and
Right, he came out.
cane?
He came with the cane.
Dun, 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 dun.
So we are
He
currently.
came out passionately with his cane. I'm not gonna let that go, Dave.
We are getting pulled off the air at the moment. So this is episode 12, coming to you live, closing it down. Tri-State tip.
Julian Smith on Facebook.
Smitty Wood 365. I would scissor you, but you're too far.
And Cap on the end. And I'm Tiger Helly
Cap, you
19.
still here, baby?
And I'm Tiger Helly 19.
Yes, sir.
We'll catch you again next week.
Till next time.
Peace.